My great-grandpa opened here in 1937. You know, when you say old school, that's not something you can kind of just attach to yourself. I feel like you truly are or aren't. We really give that old school, true Chicago feel to anybody that walks in the door. You order from me when you walk in. Italian, no tomato with mayo. Everything is sliced fresh to order. Everything on there looks okay. You pay my mom at the window.
Nice to see you. How's the baby? Good?
So it's just that all-around feel of the whole store. West Loop, as it's known now, really was one of the first Chicago markets. This is where everybody came down to pick up the goods to go resell to restaurants or delis. Now on a huge revival of world-class restaurants up and down the block. And, you know, our little sandwich shop still going strong today.
Enjoy.
It makes me feel amazing seeing this store so alive. I'm very proud to carry on the tradition. You know, put my own stamp on it as well, and get it ready to eventually pass on to the next generation, I hope. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you.
You can go down the street and see something super chic. You go in here, you'll see the mortar brick, you'll see the whole shebang, how it was back in the day. These are sandwiches that are made from the ground up. For the Mr. G, the Italian artichokes are soaked in oil, makes them super tender, gives the sandwich a different taste. Same with the artichokes and the tuna, with the spices and with the other vegetables. Fantastic. Knock your socks off on that tuna.
They were super friendly. He was really great. He's like, I can see you haven't been here before. This is the kind of bread we have. This is the kind of meat we have. And knowing that this is, they'd been here since before it was Randolph Street and the West Loop, and it was just the meatpacking district. That's kind of cool. I can totally respect and get behind that.
The guys behind the counter were super, super nice, and their suggestion was phenomenal. Smiley, friendly guys, but it could have had something to do with that it was two girls on a Saturday afternoon shopping for a sandwich. So that might have been, always helps, right?
And we also had the gelato. If you ask the owner, Jimmy, for his recommendations on the gelato, he'll recommend the gelato based off the sandwich so that it basically, it'll get you. Yes, exactly. The cheese that they use inside the cannoli is fantastic. They explode out. As soon as you bite in, it's going to shoot out. And you're going to be in trouble.
Spots, then I'm going back for a cannoli.
Yes. These are recommended.
The one thing I hope that impresses our guests when they come here is that, holy cow, a restaurant at this level using this quality of ingredients is inside a museum, number one, which you'd never expect. Usually you have a tray and you're marching down the line. No, this is actually a great lunch restaurant, and there's fewer and fewer great lunch restaurants in Chicago. Oh, the space is really white. There's windows that look onto Michigan Avenue and on Lake Michigan to the east. And then let's not forget some Millennium Park are really the scene. You don't really need anything else, but the food is the star. And Meg Colleran, who's behind me here, is the chef de cucina. And Meg's very passionate, as am I, but I think she's more passionate than me about buying local and shopping at farmers markets. Whether you're a foodie and you want an incredible gourmet experience, or whether you're just out to see art and you have some extra time to enjoy lunch, there's something for everyone.
It is attached to a major art institution. And not your typical kind of, you know, lunch cafeteria place that's full of like school kids on buses running around screaming. So I think that their presentation with the food is really quite unique.
You know, I think you're right. It's a wonderful place. Ingredients, no one can argue, are quality, and the food is very tasty. I got the Top Chef Master's Raviolo, which is this one big ravioli. And the other appetizer I shared with my husband was the pork belly flatbread. That was a star.
Oh, I've had that too.
Isn't that great? It's crispy, the crust is crispy, the pork belly is crispy, and the cheese melts in your mouth. It was the perfect combination. The chef does know what she's doing.
The food was extremely tasty. I had the smoked whitefish croquets, came with a nice Caribbean aioli and some fennel. And then I also had the tri-burger fantasy. The Wagyu beef was good. The lamb burger was excellent.
It's an art gallery, museum environment, and really what happens in this all-white space is you get to actually focus on the outside of the restaurant, and if you wear the right outfit, you pop, you become the art. The food is the art, and the people become the art. It is a truly unique environment.
How's the pizza? I'm a people person. I like to meet every customer that comes in. I really, really try to go to every table and introduce myself.
Nick, hey Mike, how you guys doing? How could you pass up homemade limoncello?
Our oven floor is at 900 degrees. The dome is 1,000. The pizza's cook in about 90 seconds. The oven is so hot that an extra second more will like burn the pizza. The wood and the flame give it a nice char and it's awesome. We're certified with the VPN, which is an association in Naples, and they make sure that we use a certain product as far as flour, tomatoes, cheese, that all come from the Campania region in Naples, and that we handle our dough properly. There's no secrets in our ingredients. It's salt, water, and yeast, okay? That's all that goes into this dough. It's about how you handle the dough. The proofing, the fermentation, those are the key elements. This is a neighborhood that I grew up in. Being able to do something in my neighborhood and bring people back from all over the city, I think that it's a real compliment to our pizza and our service and our place.
Good, I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
I've been to Italy 4 or 5 times and always loved the pizza, especially down in the south. And Forno Rosso is one of the few places that makes Neapolitan style pizza, which is essentially sort of the way that they make the dough and then they put it in a 900-degree oven. So what you end up getting is this dough that's sort of light and airy, but it has that char from the oven.
Andy, your pick was amazing. Like, I loved everything about it.
It tastes like crack. I mean, I've never had crack.
So good.
I've never had crack.
It does taste like
crack. But if I would have had crack, that's what it would taste like, I think.
It was legit. Like, everything about this place was legitimately good. And it's like, you can taste it. You can tell. It was amazing.
I was looking at the menu, and the waiters were waiting for my order, and I said, I'll have the barese, and it was on the table. It was unbelievably fast.
We were really surprised by that as well, just how quickly it came out and how fresh and delicious it was.
Yeah, I love cheese. I went to Europe for the Cheese Olympics. Like, this is how much I love cheese. This is body by cheese. The burrata cheese there is reason enough to come back. It's the creamiest burrata I think I've ever had.
It's this niche little neighborhood. It's not the city. It's not the suburbs. Everybody knows each other. It's sort of half Italian, half Polish. It's really down to earth. Everybody's just, happy to be there. Really can't say enough about how nice everybody is and genuine. I always tell people it's like my death row meal. If I had to have one more meal, I'd go have a pizza there.
We're trying to give the best true Italian experience possible. The night before we opened, I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking, who's coming tomorrow? We open, but it turned out to be a great success so far.
So how was everything tonight, beautiful lady? Very good?
I have a fantastic partner. His name is Tony Priolo. He's chef co-owner, and the two of us, we merge very well together. We came up with the best food and wine pairing for all our customers. We have the right combination of quality, of food, atmosphere, and personality, and it's working. Everybody is alive, they're happy, they're enjoying, they look around. It's fantastic.
Buon appetito. It could be a romantic setting, it could be a business meeting, or even a late night snack. with a glass of wine, of course. Tony is a master chef who was trained in Italy. He is a mad scientist. The sea bass is made with Sicilian sea salt, so back to the homeland, you know. And the raviolini, instead of a big plate of ravioli, you get a little bit of ravioli. But if you didn't get filled up from the bread already that you ate while you were dipping it in the oil and vinegar.
And the
balsamic vinegar.
That's just out of this world.
If Joe was sitting closer to me, I'd give him a man hug for introducing me to Fake Lasagna. I mean, this place has become my new favorite Italian place. Really some of the best sea bass I had. It had the little segments of grapefruit on it. Great complement and balance. It's just fantastic. I had heirloom tomatoes with the mozzarella. Tomatoes tasted actually like tomatoes should.
Oh, yeah. They have a mozzarella that they stuff with more mozzarella and then a cream as an appetizer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of man hugs out of that.
We had pasta with like a nice wine sauce with mushrooms and asparagus, and I love vegetables. It was perfect for me. Like, I loved it. Like, the flavor just exploded in your mouth. It was great. Huge umbrellas over the tables, and they have nice trees that are huge that provide all this shade for you to make it really comfortable.
You're in the countryside in Italy without the airfare.
Absolutely.
Believe me. And my wife works for an airline, and I could fly there for free, but I'll just drive a mile, park the car, and stay there for 4 hours.
My mom and dad had a grocery store on Taylor Street. They were both from Taylor Street. When they decided to retire, my mother decided she was going to feed people. My mother literally packed up her kitchen and brought it here, and this is how we started this restaurant. And of course, my mother made all the pastas fresh and taught my brother how to do everything and did all the recipes that Grandma taught her, and Grandpa was the one who cooked in the family. And that's how we started. Our kitchen is very small. Again, when we started, my mother just really wanted to feed people. So we do a lot with a very small kitchen. Everything is definitely being made fresh, and the way that my mom always made it at home. It's not sophisticated, it's not pretentious. I think when you walk through the door, you're made to feel very welcome. We have people get up and sing. We have people who get up and tell stories. And it's all okay. That's really the goal, is to make them have a really good dining experience with just some terrific food.
It's a family, almost like a joint. And in my history of my life, joints seem to be the best restaurants. You walk in, and the tables are all rickety, the chairs are somewhat rickety, you got the pictures on the wall of all the celebrities and old time this and that. It's just like being in somebody's kitchen.
I thought the food was good, and it was huge portions. It was amazing. Our server was really helpful and said, look, you're going to order fried ravioli. It's not like you have it at other places. It's in a cream sauce. It doesn't normally come that way.
My wife calls them a food group unto themselves. You'd have to fight me from getting down there and either taking the bread and scraping every ounce off or licking the plate, which is really what I want to do while I'm there.
You know, obviously they make their own pasta there, and that was a big draw. My lasagna al forno was very good.
I had the grilled calamari. Amazing. It was so good. And calamari's tricky, people. It's always so chewy.
Yeah.
And I love that it's grilled because I love grilled calamari.
Yeah.
It's hard to get.
I brought business clients there, I brought bosses there, family there, friends there, the people that say I want that meat with that pasta, with that sauce. They don't say, well, I got to go check with the chef. Whatever you ask for, they do.
More than anything, I just liked the ambiance of the restaurant. I liked all the other tables. There was like families and people, couples and UIC students, big tables of people, and it was loud. But like from people talking and having a good time, and I liked that.
We like to walk this casual and a little bit stepped up elegant line. We call it rustic elegance here. And I just think it speaks to comfort, just soulful good food. The menu is, I would say, maybe like a sea-inspired Italian menu. I don't like to challenge people's perception of what food is. It's not my style. I just want them to come in and feel comforted. Try to attach to some sort of memory that's back there. I think that's my goal. I fell in love with Italy when I was studying there for 6 months in college, and that's where the love affair began, and here we are. And one of the things that we really like to articulate in the menu is how vast the genre of Italian food is. I think that making people happy, like really happy, like when they come and tell us a story about something that happened in their past, or talk about a family member, like that's when we know that we really succeeded. And if I could get that 100% of the time, then that would just be success, right?
One of my favorite places, and really high quality Italian. Very Mediterranean and really fresh. They have a really extensive crudo menu, and the menu's kind of broken up to antipastis, pasta, really big mains that are really stunning and giant for big groups. So yeah, it really just satisfies any palate, from just wanting a few noshes while you're having a cocktail, or if you really want to get after it.
The lobster spaghetti, just absolutely, it was phenomenal. I believe all the pasta there is homemade. It's fresh, made on that day, but with the exception of the lobster spaghetti. So when the server asked me, like, oh, is it okay this isn't one of our fresh homemade pastas? I was like, it's okay.
It's fine.
Bring it on,
Yeah.
It's okay. We also had the mussels beforehand, which were fantastic. And then we had the Brussels sprout bruschetta, and it was...
You are hitting all my favorites.
Oh, man.
The seafood, absolutely fresh. It was a very luxurious experience. We got, as an appetizer, prosciutto. It's like the gnocchi frito, or
Yes.
frito. Oh my Lord. Like with the goat cheese, ridiculous. But the big thing for me was I was blown away by their pastry selection. Like the little macaroons at the end of the meal were such a neat, yummy touch.
I thought the decor was lovely, the ambiance was great, the noise level was perfect.
It is definitely a hot ticket item. I mean, you're right in the middle of Gold Coast,
Right.
you're a stone's throw away from Mag Mile, and it's just really high quality, really unique Italian cuisine.
We are in the Ashburn district, 8400 South Pulaski. Called Vito and Nick's after my grandfather and my dad. Being in business 93 years. The neighborhood has changed. That doesn't stop anyone. Everybody comes back. They all feel like this is home. And it is home to a lot of people. And it's nearly done. We're really retro. We haven't changed a thing in this place since we opened in '65 in this location. Nothing has ever changed. Our sausage, our sauce, our dough, nada. And it's always been thin and crisp. People enjoy that. I was told by my father, never ever vary the quality of the food, whether you have good times or you have bad times. Voila! We would never do it any other way. This is the only way. This is the way I was brought up. You do it the best way you can, and you keep it that way. Love you. I feel good inside, because I fulfilled a lot of the promises that I gave to my dad.
Perfectly secret recipe seasoned sausage, and it changes your life. Usually my boyfriend and I will go, we always get a sausage, and then maybe we'll get, there's a special one there, you can get an egg on it, but it's only a certain day you can get it. Maybe some garlic bread and our Manhattans, just always the perfect order.
I grew up really liking thin crust, and so the thin crust definitely worked very well for me, and I thought it was really good crust. But kind of our standard go-to pizza is just pepperoni, green pepper, and mushroom. You get a mix of things. And it was very good. The other one was Italian beef and giardiniera.
Right.
It was such a surprise to walk in. I was just taken aback by the atmosphere. It was like some Italian grandmother's basement, you know, where you just walk in, there's just this really unique kind of local feeling, and I think the atmosphere was one of the shining factors of that place. Yeah.
And by shining, do you mean the carpet paneled walls? Which I appreciate, because I sure do not see that any place.
It felt very much like a vibrant neighborhood place. You had a lot of people engaged and lots of conversations going on.
To me, at least, it seems like a really awesome guys bar. It's a great place. You go, have a brew, have some whiskey, have some pizza, let loose, watch the game on TV, and just have a good time. We were there for 2.5 hours.
It's a pizza that's been around for 50 years. At least, you know, the taste has withstood the test of time, and a place you just keep on coming back to.
When people think seafood, there are certain things they still think of. Clam chowder, lobster roll. When you're dealing with a chef like Giuseppe Tintori, you want to allow him to flex his muscles a little bit. So that's the modern part. So it kind of satisfies two different groups of people. We never want a customer saying, "Oh, what's the big deal?" You know, I don't get it. Everybody on the staff at every restaurant that we own, that's the goal. Make sure that people leave going, "Ah, I get it, that's phenomenal." There's an electricity to the room. I don't think I'd ever walked into a seafood restaurant before and described it as sexy. So I think we were looking for something that was still sexy and had a buzz to it and had some electricity to it and had some volume to it. I mean, in this day and age with the amount of competition that's out there, you have to be at the top of your game. The service, the attention to detail, the room itself, the food, every aspect, you have to be fantastic. I want people coming here and having an incredible time and exceeding their expectations, like Rob said, but I also want them to say, "That's cool, that's interesting, I haven't seen that before."
It's just really, really great food, interesting flavors, great seafood, and I think in a part of town where you don't always expect to have a place that's really food-oriented, but the flavors and the freshness of the seafood, I think is just, it's really interesting stuff on the plate. When we were there the other night, we got the shrimp ravioli, which was just like almost like a very classic Italian style dish with like a creamy sauce and like peas, but it also had like a little bit of red tobacco on top, which just kind of gave it like this little pop of extra unexpected sort of seafoodiness.
So GT in this case is Giuseppe Tintori, who's a chef partner with the Boca Group.
It's just a lot of energy and sort of contemporary kind of modern feeling to both the decor and the food.
It was a great atmosphere. I really liked it. It was uber clean. It was very chic and modern. We did sit at a communal table and it was really nice. We had fish and chips, which were wonderful. We had the halibut. My favorite were the mussels. The mussels were unbelievable. The sauce in the mussels was just phenomenal.
We're in, you know, the middle of America. Where do you get seafood that fresh? Oh, the eel, the barbecue eel was to die for. I had the fish and chips, which was really good.
I think it's really great, inventive seafood in a really beautiful environment.
Make you smack your mama and rear up at your daddy. That's a good evening.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.